My talk will be in 5 parts. First, I'll give an introduction, after that some stats, then problems or problem faced by women or violence against them, followed by some solutions or suggestions, and finally an evaluation or conclusion. Okay, I'll begin with the definition, which isn't mentioned here, but I'm sure you all are aware of. Violence is an incident of intentional threatening behavior or abuse against any person or group that may result in physical injury or psychological harm. Here are some objectives to understand the nature and scope of violence against women, to highlight the depth of violations, discrimination suffered by women in India, especially in Assam and Manipur and Rajasthan, to analyze the cause and consequences of physical, mental, and sexual violences faced by women, to analyze the current support system available for women survivors of violence, raise awareness of the impacts of these behaviors and cost of not taking action, to recommend some strategies to build a violence-free and gender-equitable societies. So this is all about two regions of India, that is Northeast is Manipur and Assam, and the districts are given here. And the northwest part is Rajasthan, basically the Dalit women of the Rajasthan. And next, we are studying comparative study of demographic profiles and status of women in India. That is two regions, Rajasthan, Manipur and Assam. Let's look at the table. According to Census 2001, you can see the sex ratio and literacy rate of Dalit women in Rajasthan. On the right side, we have a graphical representation of Assam, Manipur districts. The situation is far better in Northeast region than Rajasthan. As you can see, the literacy rate and the sex ratio of the Northeast region is either equal to or even higher than India. If we compare the situations with Rajasthan, the literacy rate and the sex ratio is comparatively low. Okay, next up is the status of women, which is the situation in both absolute terms and in terms relative to men. It depends on the rights they deserve, the opportunities, the socio-economic factors like income, education, and most important thing, their contribution in decision making. The next up, we have the education system in both the regions of India. Again, the situation is not that bad in Assam and Manipur, as the education of women is more positively viewed by communities in Assam. As you can see, the rate is increased from 43.03% to 56.03%. But in case of Dalit women in Rajasthan, you can see the rural regions of the Rajasthan. Then in 1971, the literacy rate is 5.06 only, and which is increasing in 2011. Next up, we have the work participation of women in Assam and Manipur. In Assam and Manipur, women are engaged in several agricultural activities and earning on their own, but the consideration and the recognition they are getting is not enough. They deserve more. And in Rajasthan, the participation is much less. Women work participation is limited to their household industries. Okay, violence against women can be of any type. It can be domestic abuse, commercial sexual exploitation, rape and sexual assault, child abuse, sexual harassment, and stalking. Next is violence against in Northeast women. It can be sexual violence, dowry, and one thing is really important, that is armed conflict in Northeast. This is very important because it led to the wide-scale displacement of people. And the other thing is the women are mentally traumatized by people, and the unmarried single women have a tough time and are often subjected to violence and abuse as they are seen as an additional burden. They almost never have a share in the family property or say in family matters. Also, widows are another group of women who are extremely vulnerable to exploitation. Widows are looked upon as inauspicious and are debarred from attending several Hindu religious ceremonies. The option of remarriage is also not available for them. Uh, witch hunting is also a practice that are used, and women are called witch and are accused of causing harm to communities. These women are physically and mentally tortured. There is evidence of some being buried and even burnt alive. Next is the violence against Dalit women in Rajasthan. There are a lot of problems that they are facing. For example, untouchability, which is still there in our society. The Dalit girls are not allowed to go to school or drink water from the same tap that other students are drinking. They cannot go to the temples or sit on chairs. Women are called sex workers for no reason. Even if they file a case or FIR, they are forced by police or their own family members or friends to withdraw the case. And here are some suggestions. Awareness regarding laws and acts against violence. The responsibility, basically, the male responsibility against regarding violence against women. A need to upgrade skills of people working different organizations, either they are government or non-government organizations. And we need to support the victim or survivor and believe them. Upgrade skills of people working different government or non-government organizations, and protect Dalit women, basically, which is more important, by enacting domestic violence laws, and evolve and implement a comprehensive strategy to address impunity and ensure criminal justice for Dalit women. Okay. Here are some laws in place in India that deal directly with domestic violence that we can use to protect women against violence. First is the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. This law not only protects women who are married to men, but it also protects women who are in living relationships as well as family members, including mothers, grandmothers, etc. Under this law, women can seek protection against domestic violence, financial compensation, the right to live in their shared household, and they can get maintenance from their abuser in case they are living apart. The second is the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. This is a criminal law that punishes the taking and giving of dowry. Under this law, if someone takes, gives, or even demands dowry, they can be imprisoned for 6 months or they can be fined up to rupees 5,000. Next is Section 498A of the Indian Penal Code. This is a criminal law which applies to husbands or relatives of husbands who are cruel to women. Cruelty refers to conduct that drives into suicide or causes grave injury to a life or health, including mental health, and also includes harassment in the name of dowry. If convicted, people can be sent to jail for up to 3 years under this law. And finally, conclusion. We all know violence is a social evil around us. Domestic violence against women shows that the theoretical constitutional equality for men and women, but in practice, in real life, in practical life, women are not considered as equal as men in patriarchal form of society like India. Most of the victims of domestic violence do not seek relief under different legislations. Most of the victims experience violence in their paternal homes. That is why they have no option to go anywhere because of absence of support of family and friends. The central and state government should develop and strengthen the laws against any kind of violence against women to support them. There is a socio-economic barrier too. Women are made to be independent and confident. Gender equality gives women an esteemed and honored status as stated in our traditional scriptures. Thank you.